Thank you.
Brawley Chisholm III. Champ is the organization.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Hi, this is Ivy Slater, and welcome to today's episode of Her Success Story. Yes, can you see we're doing it a little differently today? And this is a different time. This is the time of year that we highlight our nonprofits of the world. It is an amazing, amazing gift in this world when we can and focus on nonprofit and give energy towards the nonprofit sector. Nonprofits are not having an easy time of it right now. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of great nonprofits who are doing wonderful things, and we want to make sure they're supported out there. So this is our way of support. For those of you who don't know this, is our nonprofit series started 7 years ago at the very beginning of Her Success Story. It started with the fact of come the holiday season, we should all know how to give as well as receive. So if we can give a little something, that's what we look for. This year, I'm doing it a little differently, as you can see. But we're doing it differently in another way. We're asking every listener of Her Success Story if you can find $10 in your pocket for every nonprofit that we're highlighting. It's less than a dinner out cumulatively. So what can we do as a massive community of Her Success Story? We have the ability to make a difference. Today, I want to introduce you to a dear friend, an amazing, amazing business leader, Brawley Chisholm III. Many of you might know his work as a Harlem Globetrotter and a media guy and being a fellow New Yorker, and
Yes.
we both talked Brooklyn for quite a while. But bottom line, Brawley comes from a place with a big heart and making a difference, and hence he started the organization called CHAMP. Brawley, you want to tell us a little bit about your backstory and what brought you to start CHAMP?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. And this is what it's all about. You know, I appreciate you for having me on your platform to tell my story and to use my voice to help others. And I love that you're using your voice to help others.
I think, like attracts like in this world. Truly, like attracts like. And we met through mutual friends and immediately connected.
Yes.
And it's because we both care.
Yes.
We show up with a heart and we care. And we
Yes.
want to make a difference.
For sure. And what made me start Champ was me always knowing how I felt as a kid. And I tried my best to never lose that light. I started playing sports, specifically basketball, when I was 6 years old. That's like first grade, I think, right? And it just always was one thing that I loved. You know, it was my first girlfriend. It was my first everything, how I met all my friends. And when I played in New York City at the time, they had a lot of I would say nonprofits where it would help kids that play basketball that couldn't afford to like buy uniforms, or they had investors that just invested money. But long story short, when I see kids play in other cities and they say they paid to play on teams, I was like, I didn't pay to play on no teams.
New York, you pay to play on a
You
team.
paid to play basketball, so
You go into the park and you go play ball.
exactly, you know.
That's how we all brought up.
Yeah, and it's a guy, they call him the godfather of basketball. His name is Jim Couch. He actually had a chance to coach Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Wow.
And he still does run a program now that's 501c3, but it helps kids in the inner city just be able to chase their dream within basketball. So I just remember when I became a professional athlete, I reached the plateau of what my goal was, what my purpose was. But once I gained that, I was like, I feel like I'm still missing something, and I think it was community work. So I just tried it one day. I collaborated with my best friend. I went to college with Jared Jones.
Right.
We put the ideas together, and Champ came to life. And anybody listening, I would just say, no matter what the venture is, just start it, and it's okay if only one person show up. The hardest part is starting it, and the second hardest part is the consistency.
And I think that says a lot, and I think that is so true about everything in business. If we look at, this is going to be difficult, this is going to be hard, I have to do X, Y, and Z, versus getting started. And, in this series, actually, we've had a ton of the smaller regional nonprofits. And one of the questions I asked is, how did you get started? Because there's people out there who want to get started with nonprofits. And there's just starts with that decision and in your heart commitment.
Yeah, and I think some people get wrapped up with the I'm human. I've been through it. Like the thoughts in your head, should I start it? Overthinking, You know, so it's about just trying to find people in that industry or in that niche and leaning on them for advice. Like I'll lean on you for business advice,
Exactly.
or just helping people with nonprofits. I'm not a Mr. Know-it-all. I want to learn every day, and I think the world should be that way.
There's a saying that I will say, and I say this all the time: the day I stop learning is the day I'm done in life.
I hear that.
The day I'm done in life. If I'm not interested, if I don't want to keep going, if I don't want to keep learning more, then what am I doing? What am I here for?
Yeah.
That's how we grow individually, and we also have the ability then to make a difference. So tell me about CHAMP as an organization.
Yes, for sure. So CHAMP is an acronym. C stands for Cultivating, H stands for Humanity,
Like it.
the M stands for Manifesting, and the P stands for Purpose. So cultivating and manifesting purpose. I feel like I've been really lucky in my lifetime to know like what I wanted to do at a young age. I feel like it's a lot of, especially kids, just in different avenues. I feel like basketball was one thing that kind of just helped me navigate through life, you know. And I did other things besides, but I was a swimmer. I played baseball. I was in the chess club, but the anchor of all of that was basketball. I knew with basketball, if I wanted to be a basketball player, I had to have good grades. I couldn't do drugs. So it kind of just kept me away from.
It kept you focused.
It kept me focused, exactly. It kept me focused. And my mom gave me a good compliment the other day. She said, if it was one thing about you I knew you never was going to do was drink alcohol or just do drugs or anything like that. She said, because I knew you wanted to make the basketball team. And I didn't really recognize that. I was like, you know what, Mom, you're right. Like, I love basketball so much, I didn't want nothing to jeopardize that. I wanted that scholarship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm again, how like attracts like. Many of the listeners of Her Success Story might have heard this before, but I have a degree in dance. I have a degree in dancing. I have a degree in communications. I started dancing when I was 3. And again, the same thing. It was more important for me to get to class than to go out with my friends and party. It was like, no, my goal is to be the best dancer I could be, to work my craft. And that has honed my skills in focus and commitment. And I think in business, so many people look to recruit people who have been in the performing arts, people who have been athletes, who have played on teams, because they understand what commitment and focus is.
And I'm proud of you for that. And I'm pretty sure you understand where I'm coming from, using that dance as just a vehicle to get you through
It's just the vehicle.
situations. So with my program, Champ, we started 2 years ago. We're still a young baby. And it's been a journey. My first event I did through Champ was at a public school in Baltimore. A school hired me to come out, and Champ didn't start yet. Let me show you how fast it went. So I was like, this is the perfect time just to start it, like a school event.
You just take that one action.
Yep. Get some beautiful content. So I got the shirts made and then did the event under Champ. And when I did that, I was like, it kind of was a snowball effect at that point. I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do a back-to-school event.
Yeah.
And I want to do it in my old neighborhood in the Bronx. So I did it at Mullally Park, which is 2 blocks away from Yankee Stadium.
Sure.
And I was like, you know what? The first thing I'm going to do is just see if I can get sponsors first. I'm gonna put a tentative date, and let's see, like, what kind of attraction I could bring to it.
Sure.
Attraction started coming. I was like, oh, no, this thing is real. So I locked the date in, had to get the permit for the park. And basically, it was a beautiful day. 200 kids. The sponsors I had was Citibank.
Nice.
They did financial literacy for the kids.
Beautiful.
Yep.
That's a huge gift.
Yes. It was very important for them to know. And I had a career path station and
Lovely.
mental health. And I had a beautiful studio, Harlem Yoga Studio. These 2 young girls that owns a studio in Harlem, they came out to the park to teach the kids yoga.
Love it. Talk my language there. I love some yoga.
Thank you. I had a fitness station.
Right.
And I had to have some basketball, so I had a shooting station and a dribbling station.
Right.
So with all of these stations, the kids rotate every 45 minutes. So they're getting small, they cut up into groups, and it's real intimate, impactful, and free, right? So that's what it was all about.
And the impact on, let's talk about the impact on the community. When you bring these programs to different communities, Baltimore, the Bronx, and now we're starting with places with B's, but there's a lot of places with
Yeah.
B's.
Yeah, it is.
The impact on the community, the impact on the families.
Yeah, it's needed. It's really needed. It's so funny, Ivy. When I was even that morning, I was setting up in the South Bronx, the program, and it was people walking in like, "What is this?" And it's old. It's beautiful older lady. She told me to my face. She said, "God bless your heart, and this community needs this." And you'd be surprised that like there's just not enough going on to give the kids hope.
That's right.
And my colors are bright colors. So I lead with the color orange. It's vibrant. Champ on a T-shirt, and just by that one day of free activity, I had other companies send me free basketballs. I had a free hydration station to tell kids why it's important to hydrate. That was sponsored by Nirvana Super, and it's just about like trying to get more investors to know why this is important, so I can hold more events like this. And that was the first year. This year,
I was just going to ask.
Yeah.
So what's next? What's coming up next?
We revamped it within the next year. We did a beautiful event in South Bend, Indiana.
Nice.
Cause I graduated from Ball State University in Indiana, so we just wanted to take it to another place close to school, and we did a teen summit. This time, no sports.
Right.
Had influential people like ourselves on a panel.
Right.
Taught meditation at a segment. Taught kids how to sell products. Like more just like professional skills that we weren't taught, to get kids out of their comfort zone, to get them to believe in themselves. And that's what Champ is about, just instilling confidence in kids with life skills, professional skills, so these kids can be the best they can be, better than us.
And, I'm going to jump in here for a second and say, the positive and negative impact of social media on our young teens. There's unfortunately, it's not all great out there for them. And for them for any organization to instill in young children, in teens, in some of those hardest developmental years, for our psyches, our confidence, to come away with good skill sets and confidence and belief and good role models. That's the game changer out there.
Yeah, I think it's important to, me personally, I feel like we all had our generations, right? And I don't want to be the person to bash anyone, their music, or it's like it's their time, right? But it's our job to help modify it for them.
Correct.
So I know social media and AI is going to be the future for my kids, for your grandkids, even for your kids, and so we have to do our best to help them succeed in their future. So basically, let's just say it's social media, right? With my program, I also had, which I'm trying to get a sponsor for next year, it was teaching kids how to code. It was 30 minutes of that.
Smart. Coding is the way of the future.
And also, you have some parents that shy away from kids gaming, but now you could get scholarships from gaming. So we had a program where somebody came in from I don't want to get the name wrong, so I'll just say what it was.
We had a program that somebody came in with that expertise. That's where we're going to go with.
Exactly. Exactly. They came in with that expertise and taught kids about how they can get scholarships for gaming. Like just don't be on your video game just playing games. Look beyond that. Look at who's making the logos for the games. Look at
where's the money behind the game?
Exactly.
Where's the path, because it's a business. Gaming's a business.
Yep.
This is so funny, and this is just a side note.
Yeah.
My son will probably call me out on this one if and when he sees this.
It's okay.
But I will say in high school, I spoke to him. I was like, I know he was going into production and things like that. I said, think gaming, because that's a whole industry that needs producers and production and this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, and Lord knows we have X, Y, and Z, things that you game on. Not going to say brands. It's an industry.
Yes.
It's an industry.
Yep.
And everybody, our young people, the more they see what's possible for them,
Absolutely.
and not necessarily what is traditional.
Bingo. And it's like creating those opportunities, and we know the most successful people are there first.
Yeah.
So you get there first, get your real estate in the company, and you grow.
And you grow.
And you grow.
I want to ask you this. What has surprised you about this journey in building a nonprofit. I mean, you're a success. You're a success. A Harlem Globetrotter. You've traveled all over the world. You have done amazing things in your own career. But in starting this nonprofit, Champ, what has surprised you in that piece of the journey?
What surprised me is how free I feel, how selfless it is, how you can actually see it in other people's eyes, the joy, the passion, the appreciation.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of sets me free. And it's just about like continuing these initiatives and making sure like kids can have access to these programs, to these people. I mean, we do live in a world where it's a capitalistic world where like people aren't going to come out for free. You have to do the hard work is like this, like make telling the story, making it known. But when it's all said and done, it's worth it. So I don't complain. It's like when I know I have the influence and the celebrity to be the draw, and using that to try to monetize to help other people is like, I feel like Robin Hood.
There's a word, and some people take it positively and some people take it negatively, but the word leverage.
I like that.
And I think leveraging our talents, our skills, our networks, and building something that does good for community and gives back and builds community is just what is needed. There's way too many young people and you walk around New York, and I know you do as well, and they walk around like this. You can't see them for
walking
beans.
Down the street like
right?
that.
You can, right? They're all focused on the phone. But to take it a little bit away from the technology and to people to be with people and gain skill sets. Brawley, thank you for starting this. Thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you, and thank you for your platform. Thank you for being a selfish person as yourself, and I'm honored to be here anytime.
Listeners, this is what we say at this point of her success story. I'll always say, take a deep breath in. It really feels good, and it helps us really take in what we're listening to, where we are in the day, and then take that and identify one aha or takeaway from the conversation Brawley and I just had. What is one thing? Jot it down. It doesn't matter if it's on paper, if it's on your phone. There's no judgment here, but jot it down. And here's the key. Make a decision and take an action based on that. You show up every week for her success story, and every week you take away an action. I promise you will be motion forward, whether it be your life, your career, your businesses, and that's what this is about. This episode meant something to you? Share it forward. Share it forward. Let other people, let other communities, let other listeners hear about all the nonprofits we're highlighting and the great work that the nonprofits do. It's important. And thanks for joining us today.